Time to talk about the most embarrassing car repair videos for dealing with broken bolts on YouTube. Um, if the heads are stripped off the bolts, you can use these things. They're socket wrenches with splines inside. They bite down on the bolt heads and let you power them out. If the bolt is stuck in a hole, you can use one of these to grab it. Drills a hole in the top of the bolt, and then this end extracts the bolt, helps you pull it out. But one thing no one ever talks about is what happens if you over torque the bolt and strip the threads off. Now, that's a really dumb thing to do, and it's kind of embarrassing, so the first thing you sort of need is an excuse. Something like, I was working from the back side and I got confused about clockwise and counterclockwise. But then after that, you've got to figure out how to get the bolt out. Now, when worst comes to worst, you usually use a blowtorch, heat up the bolt, and try to pull it out with a pair of pliers. Or you can drill the bolt out like this. Now, if the bolt is holding on something that's flammable, like an engine cover or an air box or anything else that would burn or melt, then this is about your only option. And you can see that what happens when you over torque one of these things is it doesn't always destroy all the threads. It's only wiped out the threads here. The ones up here are still left, and they're probably on the other side of the nut. And once that happens, they don't want to be pulled down into the nut. So not only does the bolt not want to twist out, it actually wants to stay in. And so the only way of really getting the bolt out is to get rid of the bolt. Moreover, this bolt has a really large torque head and a pretty small body, so it doesn't take much torque to strip the threads. What you want to do is get a drill bit in here and drill out as much of the bolt as you can. But the problem is, it's really hard to get it straight up, especially if the car's on jack stands, the bolt's facing straight down, and you just can't get underneath it. It gets to be really hard to center punch the bolt, and so these things make a reappearance. Grabbits are self-centering, or close to it, and so what you can do is put a grabbit in your drill, run it up into the head of the bolt, and then you have a hole there that's more or less centered. And you might have to try a couple of different sizes of grabbits to make the hole large enough so that you can get a small sized drill bit in and drill through the center of the bolt. Once that's happened, and it won't take long to drill through if you're using a hardened bit, you've got a pilot hole, and you can use successively larger bits until one bit finally gets stuck. Then reverse the drill, and with luck, you'll get it out. What you also want is to destroy some of the threads, some part of the bolt, so that you've got a little wiggle room to get it past, well, to get the top of the bolt down into the nut and pull it out. Now the downside of this is that if you push too far against one side of the bolt or the other, you may also destroy the threads in the nut. But honestly, you've got such a big disaster at this point that retapping the nut is probably easier than trying to get the bolt out any other way, and setting some plastic part on fire or melting it all over your garage floor. So that's basically how to deal with the most embarrassing car repair ever.